Most DJs were chasing the loudest drop. Kygo chose something completely different. At a time when electronic music was getting louder, faster, more aggressive, when every festival stage demanded bigger bass, bigger crowds, and bigger explosions. One quiet student in Norway sat alone at a piano, writing melodies. Nobody believed those melodies could change electronic music. Nobody believed soft, emotional dance music could compete with the biggest festival anthems. But within just a few years, that same student would become one of the fastest rising artists in Spotify history, sell out arenas around the world, and inspire an entirely new generation of producers. This is the untold story of Kygo, Bergen, Norway, 1991. A boy named Kygo grows up surrounded by mountains, rain, and the peaceful beauty of Norway's west coast. Unlike many future DJs, his first love isn't synthesizers, it's the piano. For years, he studies classical music, scales, technique, discipline, hour after hour, day after day. While most children are outside playing, Kygo is learning something far more valuable: how to make people feel emotion through music. He doesn't know it yet, but those quiet piano lessons will one day become the foundation of his career. As a teenager, everything changes. He discovers electronic music. Suddenly, two completely different worlds collide. The elegance of a classical piano, the freedom of electronic production. Most musicians would choose one. Kygo chooses both. He begins blending warm melodies with electronic beats, creating music that feels peaceful, hopeful, almost cinematic. It doesn't sound like the EDM dominating festivals at the time, and that's exactly what makes it special. By day, he studies business at the university. By night, he disappears into his bedroom. Just a laptop, a keyboard, a pair of headphones, no manager, no record label, no expensive studio, no audience, only an obsession with creating something beautiful. He uploads remixes to SoundCloud, Ed Sheeran, Passenger, Coldplay, track after track. For months, almost nothing happens. A few comments, a few thousand plays, nothing that suggests the life he dreams about is anywhere close. But he keeps going, because he isn't making music for fame. He's making the music he wishes existed. Then, 2014, everything changes. Kygo releases Firestone, featuring Conrad Sewell. The song sounds unlike anything dominating electronic music. There is no aggressive drop, no overwhelming bass, no attempt to shock the listener. Instead, there is warmth, emotion, melody. It feels like driving beside the ocean as the sun disappears below the horizon, like the last perfect day of summer. People around the world instantly connect with it. Firestone spreads across Spotify, YouTube, radio stations, playlists. Millions of listeners discover something they didn't even know they were looking for. Soon, the music industry gives that sound a name: tropical house. Whether Kygo invented the genre or simply defined it, one thing becomes impossible to deny. He helped bring it to the world, and millions of people fell in love with it. Success comes faster than anyone imagined. Kygo becomes one of the fastest artists ever to reach 100 million streams on Spotify. A remarkable achievement for someone who had started alone in a bedroom only a few years earlier. The quiet student from Bergen has become one of the biggest names in electronic music. Soon, the collaborations begin. Selena Gomez, Ellie Goulding, One Republic, Imagine Dragons. Some of the biggest artists in the world want to create music with him. But perhaps the most unforgettable moment of Kygo's career comes in 2019. Whitney Houston, one of the greatest voices in music history, gone for years. Kygo is given the opportunity to reimagine Higher Love using previously recorded vocals. The result is extraordinary. Not simply another hit, but a heartfelt tribute. A song that introduces Whitney's voice to millions of younger listeners, while reminding longtime fans why she remains one of the greatest singers of all time. For Kygo, it is a full circle moment. The boy who once learned music alone in Norway is now creating something inspired by one of the most legendary voices ever recorded. Today, Kygo has accumulated billions of streams, performed on the world's biggest stages, headlined major festivals, and built one of the most loyal fan bases in electronic music. But numbers alone don't explain his legacy. His greatest achievement is something far more meaningful. He proved that electronic music doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It doesn't need the biggest drop to create the biggest emotion. Sometimes, one simple melody can say more than 1,000 explosions ever could. Kygo never chased trends. He created a sound that people immediately recognized as his own. And in doing so, he quietly changed the direction of modern electronic music. Kygo proved something the music industry often forgets. The loudest voice isn't always the one people remember. Sometimes, the music that stays with us forever is the music that speaks the softest. And that's exactly why the story of Kygo is far from over. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more untold stories behind the legends who changed music forever. The next story might surprise you even more.